You're noticing something interesting in the VIX. Macro Risk Advisors was out with a trade or an idea that they think that the VIX right now is mispriced. If I'm understanding this correctly, it should be closer to 24. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't necessarily agree personally, but last week they did come out with a report. They have a number of inputs that state that the VIX fair value for the month of September should be between 24 and 25.
And where is it? It's closer to 15, 16, right?
Closer to 15, 16 right now, yep.
So that would suggest that if they're right, some volatility could be on the way. You know, we've had a number of options insight guests actually suggesting that, options action that they're seeing beneath the surface suggests that there could be, or at least that there's some investors hedging for some kind of spike in volatility in September, even October. So do you agree with that, or?
We've seen really the other side of that in the marketplace over the past few weeks. Just last week, a pretty big SPY trade went up late on Friday. It appears one investor is actually rolling a trade from mid-August. It's a similar trade. They're just kind of rolling up and out from October to November, targeting a 9-10% rally in the S&P through the end or middle or end of November.
And I believe that we have a terminal of this, like showing what this trade specifically is referencing. But it sounds like you think that this trade is going to win over the VIX call?
It would seem so. When this trade originally went up, the initial line was about $315 a share in the S&P 500 or the SPY tracking the S&P 500. So what they did was it was a ratio call spread, and they sold the downside put spread. And to really kind of sum it up, back on August 14th, when the market was about 5% lower than it is today, they targeted about a 9% rally into the middle of October. What they've done is they've actually started to readjust that trade after the 5% rally and looking for another kind of 10% rally into the middle of November.
Well, that always does take two sides to make a market. We've got the VIX bulls, the SPY bulls. Let's bring the Fed into it, because of course next week is going to be a big deal. Although, is it largely priced in? Are you seeing anything in the options market that gives insight to next week's meeting? I
think it's largely priced in at this point. You had Jerome Powell's comments on late last week, and he's kind of reaffirmed his dovish tilt, if you will. So I think that's why you're seeing the market kind of hover around the highs.